financial professionals. I'm Dan Peterson, President Managing Partner here at E4 Insurance Services, welcoming you to The Brew, building relationships every week. Thanks for tuning in today, and for those of you joining The Brew for the first time, welcome. We like to start the Brewcast by celebrating today's National Day. Today, I could not believe that there's actually such a national day, but it's National Package Protection Day. Hopefully those porch pirates stay away from your house this holiday season. It's also National Electronic Greeting Day. The ease of sending quick text or a GIF for hellos, birthdays, and other messages remind us of how much these things have changed with this technology. On today's Brew, we welcome Jon Thomas, Director of National and Strategic Accounts for Amada Senior Care. Jon joined Amada Senior Care in 2023 after spending the last 15 plus years working as a financial and insurance professional with the carriers, Nationwide Insurance, and most recently, Securian Financial. Dedicated to helping grow market awareness for the importance of long-term care planning, Jon has firsthand experience caring for aged loved ones and is passionate about the dignity and freedom quality long-term care solutions can provide. Feel free to use the chat box to share your thoughts or ask questions. Also, all the attendees are in a drawing for a CE voucher and a Starbucks gift card, and we will be announcing the winner at the end. So, Jon, we're excited about partnering with your firm, and we're going to get into what your firm is all about. But I'd first like to restate the challenge that I have experienced in working with financial advisors over the years who have really been turned off about actually getting long-term care companies to pay benefits for their clients, or many times it's the parents, the aging parents of some of their clients that they're managing the assets for. It is a real challenge to have the right language, the right words, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And it leads to advisors really wondering, is this even a viable solution? You have experience on both sides. So let's start with, who is Amada Senior Care?
Yes, thank you, Dan, and really appreciate that introduction and you restating, the reason for this call. It's such an important topic, and I'm really excited to have this conversation with you. Amada Senior Care is a senior care provider. We have agencies across the country. We've got about 175 locations around the country. We provide in-home caregiving services. So we've got agencies in mostly in metropolitan cities and areas providing in-home caregiving. So we send caregivers in the home to provide care, the kind of care that long-term care insurance provides, right, and pays for. And you mentioned my background as a insurance wholesaler. I was an insurance wholesaler with a couple of carriers, and I wholesaled life insurance and then long-term care insurance. And I saw the challenge from the carrier end of it. I saw claims coming in. I saw the challenges that families faced as they were trying to activate claims and receive benefit. And we're in football season. The Big Ten championship is coming up, and I've been hopefully you're like me, you've been watching some of the games. But insurance companies, as we outline or we promote long-term care insurance, and the insurance company provides and talks about this long-term care insurance benefit, right? That benefit is only as good as that promise when it pays, right? That's when the rubber meets the road. And so I think of the policy being the quarterback getting ready to throw that touchdown pass, right? And home care, the home care provider is the receiver. Right, we're receiving that pass. We get that long-term care insurance benefit to provide care for seniors, right? And so if there's not a structure in place for that senior and for their family to activate the policy, then that promise is no good, right? And it's a dropped pass. And so I left my role at the carrier and I joined Amada Senior Care because I saw this extremely needed and necessary opportunity to fill the gap between what policies promise to do and the care that actually happens on the back end. And so it's been really exciting couple of months as I'm building this partnership between agencies like E4, Dan, where we're working with BGAs and agents to help activate claims. We stand in the gap and help turn claims on and advocate for your clients when they're ready to claim that long-term care benefit.
Yeah, we met at the end of October at NALBA's annual meeting. We were heading into Long-Term Care Awareness Month, which we've had a big push this month with a lot of focused communication for our advisors. But I was introduced to you because one of our advisors, on his own mom, who has a long-term care policy, his own mother, who absolutely needs care with a number of the activities of daily living, and actually has some cognitive issues as well. He has not been able to trigger income, cost recovery, benefit payments from her long-term care policy. And he called me up very frustrated. And so we were talking with a fellow BGA, a fellow colleague, and she introduced me to you. And, you know, I was taken by the story of your experience and Amada's experience, that it comes really even down to the actual language that the physician, the actual words that a physician must put on the claim form in order to get past the prevention department, if you will, at the long-term care company. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the carrier, they get claims right from families, and when those claims come in, they're matching that claim language against the language of the policy, right? And so you're exactly right, and we see it every day at Amada as we assist folks in filing claims with insurance companies, right? And if that language in the claim documents, if the language doesn't match what's in the policy, and it's exactly stated in the right words that the policy outlines, oftentimes that leads to an initial claim denial, right? And so not only does the claim language and what's indicated in the claim need to match the policy language, the doctors, you know, the primary physician or whatever doctor has submitted their records, the doctor's records need to indicate or match the claim language and support the activation of the claim. And then thirdly, there's a plan of care that's necessary, a plan of care that's written specifically for the activation of the long-term care insurance claim, right? And so if the family doesn't answer the claim, the claim questions exactly right, if the doctor's or physician's record isn't exactly right, or the plan of care isn't exactly right, there are a couple of things that can go wrong there that lead to a claim denial, and it creates a lot of frustration, right? And so our goal is to step in the middle of that before any claim is filed and submit an initial clean claim. We call it a clean claim process. That if we can check all these boxes right off the bat, if we can engage a nurse, we'll engage one of our nurses to do a full evaluation and put together a plan of care that's going to meet the specifications of that policy, so that we know when we submit this claim package to the carrier, they're going to approve it right off the bat. Right, that they're getting a clean claim package that meets all the specifications, checks all the boxes, and gets approved immediately. So that's you know, our process when we get into long-term care advocacy. And I know we're going to talk about it in a little bit more detail,
Sure.
but that's really where we fill the gap.
So you have this process that will help financial advisors and their clients, or maybe the parents of their clients, actually qualify for benefits, and that's a service that you're coming alongside our firm as we see more and more opportunity with this. We actually think this is a fantastic resource for the financial advisors and agents we work with. What are the agents and financial advisors missing regarding the needs of their senior clients or the parents of their clients?
Yeah, no, it's a really good question. I think from my perspective, being engaged with seniors in the long-term care planning discussion, but now in the home care reality, right? Seniors and their families are not prepared for aging in place. They're not prepared to need care. That's the reality, right? We have not, as an industry, as a financial planning industry, we have not done the best job helping folks prepare for this reality that they're going to need care. Right? It's almost as difficult of a conversation as the conversation that we're going to die one day. Right? It's a hard topic to broach. It's a hard conversation to have. And I really encourage financial advisors as I talk about elder planning, right, or senior planning, that this is part of the retirement planning conversation. As we're talking about retirement, as we're saving and investing in our qualified retirement sources and other assets, right, that we talk about, the additional income that's going to be needed down the road to pay for care costs. Because the truth of the matter is only about 10% of baby boomers have long-term care insurance, right? And so we get all kind of folks that, you know, they don't have a will in place, they don't have a power of attorney in place, and they've been diagnosed with dementia. And here they are, you know, having a hard time remembering things, and they have to manage their assets, they have to manage care costs, they have to manage all of this stuff that happens when folks are in crisis. And so we get these families in crisis mode, right? That they don't know where to turn, they don't know who to talk to, they don't know how to hire a caregiver, right? And they don't know how they're going to pay for it. And so our approach, and when you say what's missing for financial advisors, what I try to encourage is that this is an opportunity. Because families are in crisis, there's no better opportunity to engage families to set up the next generation, to make sure that they get all those things in place, that they have a financial plan in place to pay for care. That may involve long-term care insurance. It may not if they don't have it, right? But we have an opportunity in this moment to talk to kids, the kids of those seniors that are aging, about long-term care insurance. Now we have an opportunity to talk about what's next, the inheritance, right? What's next for this next generation. And I think that's an opportunity for you if you're concerned about generational retention, right? I know that Wealth Magazine a few years ago said that 70% of seniors that pass away, their kids choose a different financial advisor than their parents had, right? So if you're concerned about generational retention, there's an opportunity there to step in this moment of crisis, help a family, and then ingratiate yourself to that next generation. So I think that's something that's missing. So one of the things we've done, Dan, is we invite financial advisors in, we invite insurance agents in to this process. You know, as we're building this relationship, and you send us one of your senior clients for care, right? We're going to sit down, we're going to have a care coordination meeting, talk about care, and then we're going to invite you in to assist and be part of that conversation, to talk about financial resource coordination for that senior, and then also what's next for the next generation. So that's part of you know, this partnership, and something that I look forward to growing with you and your advisors and agents.
So we're all about making an impact, right? That we talk about that we're here to make a difference in the lives of others, our clients, their families, the generational, provide liquidity. When they receive that $8,000 new $8,000 a month gym membership, one of our colleagues says, how are they going to pay for it, and all of that, and so we get into that planning. But you're really talking about the impact during the vulnerable time for the clients, and how can financial professionals make a better impact there?
Yeah, you make a better impact by you know, reinforcing this fact, right? That one day you're going to age to the point where you're going to need some help, right? And you might be the only professional in that client's life, in your client's life, that is pushing the need for them to plan. Right, AARP did this study a couple of years ago when they looked at caregivers and recipients of care, and over 50% of the recipients of care said they had no plan in place before they got to the point where they needed care. Right, they hadn't talked to their kids, that there wasn't a structured plan for their care, for the arrangement of care or the financial cost of the care. And so that's really significant. And so I would encourage you to have a significant impact as you're talking about retirement, as you're talking about protection. Maybe you're having a life insurance conversation, or you are having that long-term care conversation. Also incorporate, do you have a power of attorney? What is your conversation with your kids been? If not, we need to get your kids in here, right? As a and meet your kids, and as an advisor and agent, meet their kids. Make that a point to get the family and put plans in place for what senior and aging process is going to look like.
Well, one of the things that really blew me away is that for our E4 agents and advisors that work with us and then want to partner with Amada, Jon, you shared something that I just was really shocked at. I said, well, what's in it for you? You provide a free service to take a review of the policy, the medical, the claims form. Your team is knowledgeable on all the carrier's claims form, what the language is, what the language needs to be, and you offer this to our advisors free of charge.
That's right.
Almost sounds, Jon, too good to be true, but explain. But then you shared your business model, and it started to make sense to me. If you can share that for our group.
No, absolutely, and you outlined it. So we have a long-term care advocacy program that, Dan, through our partnership, we're offering to you and your clients free of charge. And the reason for that is that we know that we're meeting these families in a vulnerable time, right? And they don't know where to turn. They don't know how to get help. There are services that you can pay for to help you with a long-term care claim. They charge anywhere from a couple $100 to a couple $1,000 as a service to help somebody with the claim, a long-term care insurance claim, right? But we, because this is such a moment of crisis, and we know how complicated the process is, and we're already a home care provider with nursing staff. We have employee caregivers, and we have RNs that we employ. And so we can go to the home, we can meet with the family, assure them that we're there to help, help them understand the benefits of the policy that maybe mom or dad had purchased 15, 20 years ago, right? So remind them of the benefits that they have. And then have our nurse do an evaluation with them to go ahead and start that plan of care process. We'll also reach out to the physician. We've got templates for physicians to complete to make sure the physician's language is correct. And we do all this because we understand that this is a promise that was made to them, that these benefits will cover their care. And so we really see this as a value add service. Now, the way that we're compensated is we believe that if we do good by that family, if we show up well and really help the senior and their family, that they're going to choose us as a home care provider. So ultimately, we do provide caregivers. We send caregivers to the home and we provide care. And we believe if we do a great job assisting them with their claim, then they'll choose us and they'll choose our caregivers to provide their care. And so that's really been our model, Dan, and it really has worked for us. We have a reputation for turning on claims, right, the first time, and we have a reputation for providing great care, and it's helping us grow in this market.
Well, Jon, that's fantastic, and I think you said, I remember you telling me at NALBA that you're batting, when you do provide this assistance. That about 60% of the people that you provided for end up using your home care services. So it's really a win-win for everybody in that sense. But ultimately, it just gets rid of this huge challenge that many financial advisors and frustrations that their clients and the family members have in going through that claims process. And so you can come alongside us and do that. That's fantastic. There is in the chat, we put together a website that outlines our partnership, and so there is. We'll jot that out. And we'll share that out. But E4 and Amada and walks through something you can bring your clients to, show them. We appreciate the opportunity to do this. And I'm going to open it up now, Jon, if okay, to open it up for questions, if there is any. Do we have any questions from our group? Either in the chat or unmute yourself.
Well, and as folks are thinking of their questions, Dan, I'll just add really briefly. We do look at the holistic care need, and so not only do we provide care at home, but care at home isn't always appropriate, right? Sometimes there's a significant, let's say, for example, a significant Alzheimer's diagnosis, and a memory care unit in a facility is what's more appropriate. We do have relationships with thousands of facilities and communities and memory care facilities that will help place folks. And so, one of the reasons that 60% or so of folks that after we assist with a claim choose us is because a good number of times we're helping folks find a community. And assisted living or memory care is right. So that's also part of what we offer.
Great, great. Well, I'd like to remind everyone that today's brew and our full library of brews are recorded and shared on the Brew blog on our website at www.e4.insurance. There'll also be a link now to our partnership with Amada Senior Care. And Jon, now's the time for our giveaway. Can you pick a number between 1 and 24?
Between 1 and 24. Oh boy, 17.
17. Who is the winner? Aaron Breth, you are the winner of the gift card. So be looking for that to come to you. I believe it's a Starbucks gift card, if I'm not mistaken, in honor of the brew, but you'll be receiving that and be able to enjoy that. Thank you for being on today, Aaron, and congratulations on being the winner. So we have, I guess it's there's also a complimentary CE voucher with that as well. Well, Jon, I really appreciate you wrapping up. Next week, I need to remind everyone that there will not be a brew, as we will be having our internal meetings, our inner circle, our study group with our top advisors, and we'll be back on December 13th with Pam Sheehan, editor and publisher of Aspire magazine. Many of our advisors have seen that. We send that out to our top advisors every other month, and Aspire is the industry's newest and best journal for financial insurance advisors. Each edition of Aspire magazine addresses the most important industry issues and concerns and helps financial professionals to put best practices to use for the betterment of their clients. Pam will talk and share how Aspire is taking the industry by storm and what her plans are in the year ahead. Jon, thank you again, and thanks everyone. We'll see you next 2 weeks on The Brew.